Hello everyone, welcome to Coding Tuts. If you are satisfied with my videos, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you know when updates are available. In this lesson, I will be showing you how to use the CSS3 filter property by using these values: blur, brightness, contrast, drop shadow, grayscale, hue rotate, invert, opacity, sepia, saturate, and URL. Here I have an image of a cat. So to add the filter, I'm going to first target the image. And I'm going to start off with blur. And this is how you use blur. The higher the pixel value, the more blur the image gets. This is similar to using the Gaussian blur like Photoshop. Just make it extra blurry. I'm going to show you brightness. Start off with 100%, which will leave it unchanged. Let's go to the inspector. Now if I decrease the brightness, it'll be darker. 0% would mean pitch black. If I put to 100%, you'll see more of a brightness than its normal state. So anything over 100% will give the image more of a brightness. You can also use decibel values if you wish. You also have contrast. Start off with 0. A contrast of 0%, as you can see, will give you a gray box. 100% would mean it's in its normal state. And anything above 100 would give you more of a contrast. Anything below 100 will give you more of a gray shade on the image. Anything above 100 will give you more of a contrast. You also have something like drop shadow. It's the same as using the box shadow on a div element. Same exact thing. So I have the x-axis going to the right, 4 pixels, y-axis going to the bottom, and 3 pixels as its blur, and the color of the shadow. And there we go. This green actually goes well with the background, I think. The only difference between using the filter drop shadow and the box shadow property in CSS is that inset is not allowed, and neither are negative values. Show you grayscale. Grayscale simply means how much of a grayscale you want to add to your image. So it's 100% completely black and white. I decrease the value. And 0%, as you can see, means it's in its normal state. There's also hue rotates. Now, just like in one of my lessons where I taught hue, saturation, and lightness, this also takes a degree value. I'll start off with 0 degrees, which will give you the normal state, just like how the cat looks now. Okay. So if I give this 90 degrees, it'll change to a color on where the 90-degree angle is, which is like a green, I think. Yeah. So what happened here is that it added 90 degrees more from the original color. If you put anything over 360 degrees, it'll represent only the value that's added to that 360 degrees. So I'm going to put the sum of 360 plus 90, which is 450. It's going to turn out the same way. So that is hue rotate. We also have something like invert. Start off with 100%. So 100% invert means it'll give you a completely inverted image. If I decrease the invert, you'll see more of a grayish shade. Now if you go below 50%, you'll see its normal state. 0% normal state. If you increase it, you'll see more of a gray shade on the image if it's under 50%. 50% completely gray. Now if you increase it and it's over 50%, it's inverted. See what happens if I put 100. Okay. So anything over 100 doesn't matter. You'll still see the same result as the 100%. Okay. You could also use opacity. Start off with this. 100%, which is its normal state. Now as you decrease it, you'll see it fades away as I decrease the value. 0% means it's transparent. So it just simply means how much of an opacity you want your image to be. It's the same thing as using the CSS property of opacity, and also the same as using the alpha value in RGBA coloring. You could also use filter opacity. I want to make a div. Okay, let's add an opacity here. Okay, same thing. So as you can see, you could apply this opacity to any image, any div, just like any other ways to use opacity. I want to get rid of this. Just want to focus on image. You also have something like sepia. Sepia 100%, 100% sepia. And as you decrease the value, you'll see less of a sepia effect. It just means how much of a sepia filter you want added to your image. You also have something like saturate. Now as you decrease the value, it'll give more of a gray shade. Now if you increase it above 100%, the colors will become more saturated. You can also add multiple filters if you like. Nice. You also have an option like URL. URL specifies a filter reference to a specific filter element. For example, you have this XML page, which is, I'll show you. Let's say you have an XML page like this, and it's saved as an SVG file, which stands for Standard Vector Graphics. You will use this reference. You will add the URL towards this reference, the SVG file. Within that SVG file, you would target the ID, my filter. I will show you the website on where I get this from. The URL filter function takes in reference to an SVG filter element that is to be applied to the element via the CSS filter property. So as I look at these two images, you have elements here, the left picture, and element 2, the right picture. First, it targets the XML page, and element 2 targets the my filter ID. So the URL would use an external XML file and use this filter towards this CSS. Just like how you're using an external CSS page when you're using link relative style sheet, same thing as URL. And that is it for CSS3 filtering. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to type it up in the comment section below, and I will speak to you in the next video. Take care.